Hey Boettes and Boos, it's Mama Tanya here at Mama Tanya's Kitchen. Now, the summertime is upon us, which means it's gonna be real hot, making it perfect for very cold drinks. And one of the things that I love to put in a drink to make it extra fancy, whether it's an alcoholic adult beverage or a mocktail, right, with no alcohol in it at all, is a lemon confit. Now, confit is really just using salt or sugar to preserve something. So a lot of us may have heard of confit and think about duck confit, right? Where you're using salt and you're rendering out fat and then you're kind of drying out this juicy duck leg and serving it. This is a similar principle, but really not as complicated, and it's safe for the vegans. And probably much more nutritious. So I am going today to take a basic lemon confit and ratchet it up and make a really fancy citrus confit, adding in oranges and limes along with my favorite herbs like lavender and rosemary to make a sweet, savory, tart lemon confit that will be ready in as soon as 2 weeks. So this is not difficult at all, and most of these things you probably already have around the house. So let's get started. Are y'all ready? So I have this beautiful cornucopia of citrus here. The star of the show, okay, the lead singer is the lemon, okay? And the lime and the orange, baby, they are the beautiful background singers. In a confit, once it's ready, you're really actually using the rind and you're gonna throw away the pulp. There are some recipes floating out there about what you could do with the pulp, but it involves cheesecloth and straining, and y'all, I got 6 kids and I can't do it. So if you wanna go look it up, go do it, but don't ask me. I just use the rind, okay? Now, you want to wash your fruits well. I know when we think about lemons, limes, oranges, we don't eat the peel, and so you don't think very much about washing the outside, but you do. I like to scrub them with a soft brush and a little bit of baking soda and water, and then I rinse it off and then pat them dry. So now we have our well-washed citrus and a special guest. I am joined here by my son Chase, who is going to be our resident fruit passer, okay? These are the joys of creating content from home. You never stop mothering. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our lemon. Thank you. We're gonna take our lemon, we're gonna cut off the top, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it, almost like we're gonna cut it in half, but we're gonna stop right at the bottom. And what I like to call this is blossoming. We're gonna blossom this lemon, okay? And so then you're gonna cut, same thing. And the reason I call it a blossom is because you can kind of separate it and it looks like sort of like a flower. Yeah, it's like a tulip, right? So a blossom. So we're gonna do that. Look at that, Chase. What do you think? We're gonna blossom this, right? Yeah. So now we've got those, right? And we're gonna cut as many as we need. But remember, we're leading with the lemons. So the way I like to think about it is that you're gonna do half lemons and a quarter oranges and a quarter lime. So now with the oranges, we're not going to blossom them. What we're actually gonna do is cut them into sort of thin slices. So we'll cut off the top and discard that. And that as well, because we don't want a lot of that pith. We do want to get some of that pulp in there. That is going to give us that nice sort of orange undertone. And we're going to cut these a little bit on the thinner side. Can I have a lime? Yes. Now with the limes, I'm also going to quarter them or blossom them. You like the word blossom? Yes. Let me get another lime. Thank you. Well, Chase had to leave us because there was a dirty room with his name on it calling him loudly. And that gave me just enough time to get the additional things that I needed. So you want to get a big bowl, bigger than this, but my biggest bowl has chicken marinating in it because I'm gonna fry it when I finish this. So I am improvising, but you want to get a much larger bowl than this one. You want to get a jar. A wide mouth jar really works best, but this is what I have. in spades, so I will make use of it. I am going to have sugar and salt. Right now, I have Demerara and turbinado sugar here mixed together. Isn't that beautiful? And I have salt. Admittedly, you're gonna need a good amount of kosher salt, okay? And this is where things are gonna get a little creative. I like to do a 3-to-1 ratio. For every 1 cup of sugar, I'm going to add 3 cups of salt, okay? Because the sugar is helping me with brining, but it also is gonna give a deeper, sweeter flavor than just a traditional salt brine. And so I want that. So we're gonna add 2 more cups to that, and then we're gonna add a cup of sugar. So now we're gonna add our sugar in. So we're gonna put in just 1 cup of sugar and get that in there. I am also going to add in some lavender salt that I have, along with some dried out fresh lavender. And look how beautiful that is. It has a nice, beautiful purple richness to it. It smells floral and amazing. And I'm gonna add a little bit of that in there. I'm gonna add in a little bit of my own dried out lavender from our farm, the Black Joy Farm, over in the Bronx. It's a 5,400 square foot lot that I use a community-led process to turn into an urban farm in the Hunts Point Longwood section of the Bronx. It is one of my biggest accomplishments to date. So we grow lots of herbs there and we dry them out, and I get to use them in things like this. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more in there. Now remember, something like lavender, right? And if you're like me and you're not a big fan of floral tastes, to me, lavender tastes like perfume. So you have to be careful to not, understand the flavor palette you're working with. That's what I'm saying to you. Okay. And then I'm going to add in some rosemary. I'm gonna take this right off the sprig and just add it right in there. And as this sits, the longer it sits, the more it's going to just sort of infuse. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my jar. Here I have a funnel because I'm not using a wide mouth jar. I'm going to add a little bit of this into the bottom. I'm going to coat the bottom. This is important. You want to coat the bottom with your brining mixture, okay? And then, now, this is where blossoming makes sense. We are going to take our blossomed lemon and we are going to add sugar inside of it. See? Now, this makes sense because this is going to help us cure this lemon, making sure it's properly cured. So you're gonna pack that in there, and then you're gonna put that down in the bottom of your jar. We're gonna add another one in there because you wanna have it sort of full on the bottom. And I've got like a little wooden spoon here to help me. But I wanna be careful, I don't wanna mash it all down in there because I have to be able to get it out at some point. Then we're gonna take our oranges and we're just gonna rub salt into the orange. And we're gonna add that down in there. Okay? And the smell is amazing. If you do this for nothing else, do it for aromatherapy. Okay? And then we're gonna add in our lime. And that's nice and packed in there. And we're gonna plop that down in there. And then you are going to add more salt on top. Here I'm just gonna use our plain kosher salt to layer on top. And then we're gonna just keep going, just keep layering. You're gonna add in your 3 lemon, 2 orange slices, 1 lime, salt on top, okay? We're gonna keep going till we get to the top, and then we're gonna really pack it in, and we're gonna screw the top on, and we're gonna put it in our fridge, and we're gonna let it cure for 2 more weeks. Or if you're like me and you're really hardcore about this, mine won't be ready until the fall. But I think I'm actually gonna make 2 batches. One that I'm gonna let cure for 3 months, and another that I'm gonna cure for 2 weeks, so that when I'm having barbecues and I'm entertaining and I'm at the farm and my girlfriends are coming over or we're going to the beach, I can use those for drinks and cocktails and candy and baking goods. So as you can see, I filled up the jar as much as I possibly can with my citrus. And now what we're gonna do is try our best to pack as much salt into the open spaces as we can. Into all of the spots as possible. So this may take a little time, and this is why having a wide mouth jar is so much easier. We are going to pack it all the way to the top, leaving very, very little head space. We are going to put our top on. We will wipe it down, and then we're going to store it in the back of the fridge where it's coldest for at least 2 weeks. But if you're a soldier like me, try and see if you can do one and leave it for 3 months. Then compare the two and see if you can tell the difference. I promise you, the longer you leave it, the better it tastes. So, are you going to try this? Which herbs and aromatics will you be using? Maybe you want to add a little bit of thyme, right? Maybe you want to add some cilantro, maybe something like that. Would you be adventurous enough to add in the lavender, knowing that it's going to give it a bit of a floral, right, feel and sort of lightness? I want to know. Tell me in the comments and make sure to tag Mama Tanya's Kitchen. And until next time, booettes and some boos, ciao.